Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity.TV and virtual, online update interview with Condor Gold. And Mark Child is here with us, the CEO of the company. Mark, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jochen. Fine, thanks.
Great. Condor Gold, you guys made a lot of progress in the last 12 to 15 or 18 months, I would say, and lots of positive things are going on, and I think it's good to talk a little bit about it. First of all, we saw that you have purchased a new complete SAG mill package from First Majestic Silver, which is fabricated, I think, in Finland by Metso. How did that come?
Well, we went to Metso directly to see if we could buy a new processing plant on SAG mill from them. And I explained that we wanted it as quick as possible because we've been trying to buy a second-hand one and that fell through. And the summary of it is that it turned out that First Majestic had purchased a SAG mill from them, but no longer needed it. So we stepped into the shoes and we bought that for $6.5 million. There's 35 items. It's brand new. It comes with warranties. It's 100% ready to ship. And I was in Nicaragua last week and the week before, organizing the shipping and importation of this into Nicaragua. So that's how it came about.
Okay, super. And I saw in the press release that you are paying, I think, $3 million. You are paying in shares to First Majestic. That's really interesting because normally you would think that they would prefer cash, but they like shares. So it looks to me a little bit like that they, have very strong confidence in your company.
Yes, it's a very nice vote of confidence. It's the first time a gold producer, silver producer, has actually taken a stake in the company. So it's a nice validation. And they did their due diligence. So we paid them $3.5 million in cash, which we'll be paying over the next few months. And there's $3 million in shares at 50p, slight premium to today's share price.
Fantastic. Before we move on, as we are just talking about cash, so after paying those $3.5 million US dollars, I presume, how much cash is still left, and is the cash, let's say, sufficient for this year?
Yes, we had a small placement, raised $5.5 million US in February, so last month, and we had $11 million cash in the bank at the end of February. So this is only $3.5 million of that, and so we're funded over the rest of this year.
Fantastic. So then let's talk about the advancement of your engineering studies. What is going on there? Because you are on the fast track, I would say, to production.
Well, we are. So the next big study is actually to do the rest of the processing plant. So the SAG mill is quite big. It's 24 foot in diameter and will do 2,300 tons a day with an extra motor. A bigger motor can do 2,800. So we've ranged it between 80 to 100,000 ounces of gold a year. I think it'll be 100,000 ounces of gold a year. So we've got, that's fully engineered, the SAG mill, but then we've got to do the specification for the jaw crusher, the belts, the gold room, the tanks. And so hopefully next month I'll appoint an engineering firm to give me a plus or minus 50% for CapEx for the actual whole processing plant. We've got the SAG mill, bought that, but we've got to get the rest of it. And so that's the next big study. The other studies, we're 72% completed on the tailings storage facility to FS level or beyond FS level design drawings issued for construction. We're over 50% on the site-wide water balance management system for the plant. And we've got 95% of the land that we've purchased, and many of the additional engineering studies are significantly advanced, ready, getting the shovel ready.
Fantastic, super. So would that mean that by the end of the year you have all those studies done?
Yes, I hope so. And we're doing further sort of FS level studies now that we actually got the plant, the process site, the SAG mill. So we'll be doing more hydrology level to FS level, more metallurgy, more geotechnical work. And the idea is also to buy the rest of the plant this year and have that come into the country as well.
Okay, fantastic. So as you are that well advanced, what would be, let's say, a reasonable date to be in production then? What is your feeling? I know it's a forward-looking statement, but just to give us an idea from now, because it looks like that you are really speeding up here.
I think it's going to surprise people. I was speaking with Metso last week in Finland, and they say that the new SAG mill package, it's 35 items, is 100% ready to be shipped. So, and the first items will come into the country in 3-4 weeks' time because they're already in Mexico and taken down to Nicaragua. So I'd say this year is finalising the studies, getting the rest of the equipment for the processing plant into the country, hopefully. And next year's a construction year. I think once all the equipment's in country, we've got a 12-month build period. So that'll be an outline timetable. But I need to appoint an EPCM contractor who can give us a very detailed timeline about how they're actually going to construct this. I haven't done that yet, and we're talking with 3 or 4 people at the moment.
Okay, super. But let's say in approximately 2 years from here?
Yes, I would hope so. I hope that's the idea is to fast track this as quick as possible into production.
Okay, fantastic. Let's talk about the La India starter pits. And I think you're running a very successful drilling program there.
Yes, we've announced that we're putting about 3,500 meters of drilling in the starter pits. Just to put that in context, we've now completed 40 drill holes. We've had some good drill results. We announced yesterday a good drill result. We have 17.4 meters at 3.3 grams, including 2 meters at 15 grams. And that's at about 20 meters beneath the surface. So that's a great wide intercept for us. And within these, we've only had 6 results back. We have similar ones that have come back, which we announced 2 weeks ago. It's 9.6 meters at 4 grams. So the geological model is holding up. Obviously, infill drilling to 25 spaces, you can get negative and positive surprises. That's why you're doing it to 25 meter spaces, just to say that. We're also doing some RC replacement drilling within that program, where the RC holes we want to replace with diamond core to give a stronger geological confidence to the model. And we've got 1,400 meters left out of that program.
Okay, super. Finally, let's talk about the cacao drilling program. What's going on there? And what is cacao for La India?
Cacao, well, from the permitted processing plant, and we're fully permitted for 3 open pits of 1.1 million ounces in them. So we're permitted to construct and operate the mine, which we discussed 4 or 5 months ago when we last interviewed. Cacao is 4 kilometers away from the permitted plant. And it has 60,000 ounces on it. But we've only tested about 500 meters strike length. And we're in the process of testing 2,500 meters. So the idea is to see whether that actually, we've got rock chips over 2 kilometers away that have come back at 11 and 15 grams. So we're going to test that strike length to see whether this has a 500,000 ounce potential. So in this case, it's resource expansion drilling, but there's a bit of, it's exploration, so it comes with, hopefully it goes well. The geologists are very keen on the deposit, and we've got the strike length. So let's hope something comes back with the drill bit.
Fantastic. And if that really succeeds, let's say you get whatever strike length of 1-2 kilometers, that would be then figured in later into the mine plan?
Yes, but we've had the same headline resource for 6 years at 2.4 million ounces. And we took the decision after we got the resource and reserves to actually go down the permitting route. We had some setbacks, but it's now fully permitted, and we've made it big with the feeder pits. So we feel it's the right time now with the project, as we've got the mill, to actually, the second part of our strategy is to demonstrate a 5 million ounce district. And this is part of that strategy, is to just show this could be a lot bigger. It's a very, very big epithermal vein system. There's 110 kilometers of veining on the surface, which have been mapped. And while we were getting the permits and going through all that, we were doing a lot of geological mapping and structural geological models, soil geochemistry, heavy geophysics. So all the things over 500 square kilometers we got that actually show this as potential to be up to 5 million. So that part of our strategy we're now embarking upon, if you like, now that we've got permits and got them in.
Absolutely great. What would you see for the next, let's say, 6 to 9 months? Let's say for the rest of the year. What would be some of the major things you really want to achieve?
The priority is the engineering studies. So I would like to complete the engineering studies before the end of the year on all of those. I'd like to alter the balance of the plant in. So we've got the main SAG mill package, but we need, as I said, the rest of the plant to come into the country. And fully engineer everything as best we can. And we're already clearing ground. We're clearing 11 hectares of ground. So we're doing site preparation. We've cleared a 700-meter road, and we're going through that right now. We actually had culverts arrive last week when I was in Nicaragua, big culverts, because there's a couple $100,000 going into site preparation for all this, and we'll build warehouses and so on. So that shows big movement in the local community. And in addition to that, I think we see 20,000 meters of drilling. So we do the starter pits of 4,000. We'll put 5,000 meters on Cacao. And on Mestiza, where we have a very high-grade permitted pit, we want to take that to PFS level. It's now it's about 100,000 ounces at 8 grams, but it's 30% indicated, 70% inferred. So we need to infill in that. So I see 20,000 meters of drilling this year, and so that's going to create some good news flow because we have a really high-grade project.
Fantastic. Super, Mark. Thank you very much. It was a great update, and it looks like that you are really on the right track to fastly go finally then in production. Thank you very much. Great. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mark Child, the CEO of Condor Gold, and you heard that the company is full on track and on high speed towards production. They purchased the SAG mill, which First Majestic did not want to have, and for me, it's really interesting that really First Majestic got paid $3 million in shares of Condor Gold, because you normally do that only when you are 150% convinced that your shares will be more worth than you got for them. And so they have done a due diligence in Condor Gold, and as we all know, First Majestic is very successful. I think this is a high level of confidence into the company. Also, what I really like is they paid already $3.5 million cash for that, and still have a good $12 to $13 million in the bank. 20,000 meters of drilling, lots of progress with engineering and studies and pre-feasibility. So there are really a lot of good things are progressing with this company. I would suggest you check out Condor Gold. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Switzerland.